Welcome to Faith, Flour, and Mason Jars. I'm Leah, and this is my little southern kitchen. Today, I'm going to show you how to make porcupine meatballs. You're going to go ahead and start off by peeling 2 cloves of garlic, and then now you can see I moved on to peeling my onion. We're using a sweet onion just because those are our favorite. Any onion is going to be absolutely delicious in this recipe. As you will notice, as this recipe goes on, you're going to see that I'm going to keep some of the hamburger aside for our dogs, but you will also notice that as I chop this onion, I'm kind of chopping in a little bit bigger pieces than probably most people would like. That is because on the off chance that our dogs eat all the meatballs that I have set aside for them, they'll be able to help eat these and we can just pull the pieces of onion out. So there's a method to my madness, y'all. We're going to do a double batch. So I'm starting off with 2 pounds of hamburger. We're going to use some brown rice, right about a cup. You can give or take a little. Brown rice seems to be a little bit more gentle on blood sugars. So that's what we're doing. Give that a really good mix. Incorporate that all in there. If you want to throw an egg in there, you can. I never do. I just use the hamburger, the brown rice, and then eventually I'll put in the onion and the garlic. Now, as you can see, I'm taking out a hearty portion with no onion or garlic in that. That is for our dogs. So I'm going to go ahead and mince up some garlic into this dish. I have never been able to get one of those normal garlic mincers to actually work for me. By the time I'm done with it, I get so angry. So I found this cool little mincer. I just found it at Cracker Barrel one time. Love this thing. It doesn't get it really fine, but that's okay with us. So you're going to mince up 2 heads of garlic in there. 2 cloves, y'all. Please don't put 2 heads in here. That might be a little bit much. So you're going to put in 2 cloves of garlic. If you want to throw in a couple of more, you can. But 2 cloves seems to be about perfect for us. You will notice we don't put much in this dish. It is so simple. That's what I love about it. After we put the garlic in, we're going to put onions in. We love onions. That's why I put a whole onion in there. It might look a little bit excessive to you, but this is what we love. So then you're going to go ahead and you're going to start mixing. As you can see, we don't put any other seasonings in there. I don't know why. It's just I never did. So I don't even think of seasonings. I know that's shocking because here in our kitchen, we measure seasonings with the heart. For this dish, I don't put a seasoning in there. Isn't that kind of insane? So go ahead, mix it up as good as you can. Mix. And then you're going to see when I go to form the meatballs, I form them about golf ball size, something like that. We like everything to be able to bake in about 30 minutes. So I adjust my meatball size how, in a way that they can get done in that amount of time. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and make the meatballs. I'm going to put them on the plate because we're making a double batch. Did I tell you all that? Gosh, can't even remember. We're going to make a double batch. We're going to eat half of these, and then we're going to put the other batch in the freezer for when we need a quick meal. Now, a little bit about these porcupine meatballs. I'm going to be 100% completely upfront and honest with you. I could not stand these things when I was younger. My mom was not a meatball maker. She often just made like chicken or some kind of other beef recipes. We didn't do a bunch of meatballs. And I remember the first time I had these, probably the only time I had them as a child. We went to someone's house for Sunday lunch and they made porcupine meatballs. I thought they were the nastiest things in the world. Now, favorite food, hands down. Love these things. So here's my theory. If you start feeding them to your babies when they're little, they'll probably like them. When you try to give them to 11, 12-year-old, that's the first time they had it, they were not my favorite. Now I love them. So you can see my meatballs aren't completely uniform because I'm human. Some of them a little bit bigger than others, but I try to stick around a golf ball size. So you're just going to make these. Like I said, I'm going to put half in a pan to bake now. And then I'm going to put the other half in the freezer because with my work schedule, sometimes things can get a little hairy in the middle of the week. And it's nice to be able to pull out something out of the freezer in the morning and have it nice and bubbly hot by the time I come home for work. This is one of those perfect dishes. What I love about this recipe is, as you can see, it's super simple, very simple to make. There's not a lot of hard ingredients. There's not a lot of special ingredients. That's one thing you notice about my kitchen. We don't use a lot of specialty things around here. I like simple, whole foods as much as I can. Sometimes I do cheat and grab a can of cream of mushroom instead of making my own, but we love to do as much as we can in our own home because I know what I put in there. I don't always understand the names of the ingredients in some of the stuff that we buy at the store. So I try to do as much as I can by myself. So So as you can see, just trying to get these meatballs, I try to make them as tight as they can. So right now, the only thing we're dealing with is garlic, onion, rice, and hamburger. Now you can see I'm doing some meatballs for my babies, for Dozer and Tootsie. They love meatballs. Well, they actually love any kind of meat, except fish. Dozer's not a big fish person. But so we're going to go ahead and just make a couple little meatballs for them. That way we can, they can enjoy some meatballs as well as us. I make their meatballs a little bit smaller because when they get to have more than one piece of meat, it's a pretty cool day at our house. They like to eat meat. 2 pieces is better than 1, right? So we're getting that all mixed up and formed into meatballs. Theirs is just straight hamburger. So then I'm going to tell you a little bit ahead of time what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and throw half of our meatballs into a pan. We're going to throw half of their meatballs into a pan. So they have their own pan. That way I know exactly what's in their meatballs. There's not any weird ingredients that's not good for their stomachs. Then I'm going to put the other half of the meatballs, half of our meatballs in our pan. And then the only thing we're going to do to top this dish off is to pour a can of our homemade tomato juice. It's tomato juice that we did ourselves. You can use V8 juice from the store. It's completely up to you. Super simple, y'all. This is hearty and heartwarming and just a delicious meal to have. Go ahead, open that up, and then just pour it on top. Cover up the pan with aluminum foil. Bake it for a half hour to 40 minutes, and you're good to go. From our little southern kitchen to yours, I'm grateful you're here today. Y'all come back now.